12 goals for Messi in one match, 10 goals for Ronaldo in one match. Indeed, there is one nuance in all of this. Liverpool declared Tottenham, Neymar debuted for Santos, and London's Arsenal finally signed a new striker. Today, we're discussing this and more. Friends, this is a dose of football and a hot selection of the most interesting news to this hour. Charge your royal likes so we can work without weekends. 5,000 fingers up, new video tomorrow. Well, I wish you a pleasant appetite and a pleasant viewing. Real Madrid didn't buy anyone in the winter transfer window. Despite the obvious demand for novices, the Slivovni want to wait until summer. And there it's almost heavy. They have almost agreed with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Spanish press reports that the English player will join the Madrid team. Yes, once they wrote the same about Alphonso Davies, who eventually extended his contract with Bavaria. But I'm afraid they're right this time. Now even English journalists are not confident and confirm the insights of their Spanish colleagues. Alas, Liverpool will have to look for a new player for the right flank of the defense. Fortunately, Conor Bradley is already playing incredibly well. His presence will make it easier to cope with Trent's exit. In addition to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real plans to sign 6 more players. That is, if you believe the Advanced Encryption Standard publication. The list of Madrid's targets includes Dean Henderson from Bournemouth, Miguel Gutierrez from Girona, Florian Wirtz from Bayer, Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, Rodri from Manchester City, and Joshua Kimmich from Bavaria. The Merengues understand that they won't be able to sign everyone. That's why there are so many first-class halfbacks. But let's go through the list. Real needs a new strong center-back, and Hazem is considered almost the most promising in his position right now. I've already talked about this Chilgaya. It's very funny that Juve gave him to Bournemouth for only 15 million euros and now bought Lloyd Kelly from Slavia Newcastle for 20 million, whom Bournemouth let go as a free agent this summer. Just a unique in its stupidity mistake of the Turin people. Miguel Gutierrez is not the most reliable in defense, but he will provide a lot of movement forward. Not a bad option for modest money. Everything has been said about Wirtz. The German will cost hundreds of millions, if not more. And you still have to win the fight for him? Rodri once hinted that he is ready to move to Madrid. Considering City's crisis and the likely transfer ban with a fine on points, the move becomes even more likely. Zubimendi seems to have already agreed with Arsenal, and he didn't want to play in Spain for anyone other than Sociedad. So here the odds are most likely in flight. As in the case with Joshua Kimmich, right now the German is closer to Barcelona. Yes, despite all the financial problems of the Catalans. Arsenal has finally signed a new forward. And the transfer is one of the best in the history of the Gunners. Journalist Piers Morgan announced about him. Considering our shameful failure with the new forward signing, I went and signed him myself. He promised to make Arsenal great again. Trump really does have experience in football. In his youth, he played in the senior classes of the New York Military Academy, where he was a striker. Indeed, Donald seems to be more of a Manchester United fan, but Trump's son Baron actually supports Puskás. And he also plays in the youth academy. Trump will actively promote football in the States. He even mentioned the upcoming World Championship 2026 at his inauguration, which greatly pleased Gianni Infantino. The Swiss immediately expressed words of support. Trump is a sports fanatic overall. He will soon become the first US president to attend the Super Bowl. We are waiting for photos with Lionel Messi. Yes, the Argentine also wants to appear at the National Football League final. According to the data, Messi is trying to squeeze a trip to the game into his schedule, even though the day before the Super Bowl, he will be playing a friendly match in Honduras. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes is calling Messi. He is the greatest in history in his profession. It would be great if such a person was in the stands, I could show myself and my talent. He is one of those I can compare myself to and whose level I can try to reach one day. Leo can call his friends Suarez, Alba, Busquets to the game. The latter recently left Inter Miami. According to DLS Press, Sergio contacted Pep Guardiola and half a year invited him to Manchester City. Busquets thought about it, but refused. Imagine in what desperation the mountain dweller Raz pulls out the old men from American pensions. Real Madrid has called for a complete overhaul of the refereeing system in La Liga. Some clubs in the Spanish top division disapproved of Madrid's behavior. Betis president Angel Haro said, "I disagree with the statement from Real Madrid. This puts undue pressure. There should be calm discussions without showmanship and populist actions." Haro called to punish the Madridistas, as their actions demonstrate disrespect to the championship leadership and reflect on the entire league. The head of the Basque athlete, Hon Uriarte, stated that in the 23rd, Carvajal broke Berchiche's little toe and only received a yellow, and we were left in the minority and did not make it to the Eurocup. There are certain episodes that annoy all of us, but it's better to express your criticism during various forums, rather than putting pressure on judicial structures. And it is in such events that Real refuses to participate. Real is the only team in the entire La Liga that will not be present at the extraordinary meeting with the Spanish judges. Well, that's right. Why discuss how to improve the system? Why look for a compromise if you can simply blame the judges, complicating an already difficult profession? Such behavior has driven the referees to the edge. According to the referees' information, the leagues are gathering to discuss a possible boycott due to accusations from Madrid. So they want to call on the league to act more harshly towards Madrid. If all the referees agree and declare a strike, then with a high degree of probability, the entire league will stand up, meaning the championship will have to temporarily close. And who knows how it will all end if neither side of the conflict wants to back down? And what if the judges refuse to return? What if Real doesn't seriously punish and the Madridistas declare that they are waging war until victorious? In the worst case, Madrid can even withdraw from the matches. Although considering that the matches with Barca generate a large part of La Liga's revenue, this is hard to believe. What is allowed for Jupiter is not allowed for the ox. In Saudi Arabia, it is forbidden for couples to live together if they are not married. But the authorities made an exception for Cristiano Ronaldo. But not for John Duran, who moved to Val Nasorza for £70 million at the end of last week. According to the publication, for this reason Duran told the club that he intends to live not in Riyadh, but in Bahrain. Even despite the fact that the distance between the city and the club's training base is more than 500 kilometers. A regular flight takes about an hour and a half. In Saudi Arabia, private landlords often require proof of marriage before agreeing to rent property. And Duran decided to avoid difficulties in this way. Although pushing 1,000 kilometers every day is such a pleasure. But probably the matter is not in one specific norm of the Sharia. Bahrain is restaurants, clubs, shows, and a very high population density per meter. And it's much easier to get around there than in Riyadh. And Duran clearly didn't move to Al Nassr to play football. Unlike Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese will be breaking records and giving his all until the end, and when he finally finishes with football, he will do so at Santiago Bernabeu. According to AS, it is there that the forward has decided to play his farewell match. Probably Cristiano will return to Madrid, even if it's just for one farewell, and not even a full one, but for half a time. I think Allegri will have a friendly with Real and Cristiano will run a half for each team. The Portuguese left Real in a great state and will do the same with Al Nassr, as the Saudi club will still have Cristianinho. He writes that recently, young Ronaldo in the Al Nassr squad and the U15 met with Al Ittihad and scored all 10 goals for his team. He simply pulled out the victory in solo. Can you believe it? The team scored 10 goals, all thanks to a single player. Absolutely incredible. But not for nothing, as Ronaldo says, that Cristiano is so talented that he has every chance to surpass his father. There's a lot of buzz about Cristiano's moves. Sometimes there are fakes, but even if you filter them out, it becomes clear that he is growing. Top striker. Dusan Vlahovic meets with the Italian Megan Fox. That's how they call model Carolina Stramare in her homeland. The girl represents a Milan modeling agency. Carolina has a very popular Instagram, almost 500,000 followers. The girl is really into football. And it's not just about Vlahovic. After winning the 2014 contest, she became the main decoration of the B series. He takes interviews before and after matches, Perhaps there she met Dushin, but now the couple seems to be breaking up. The scandalously known journalist Fabrizio Corona leaked a video last year in which Vlahovic enters a hotel room with 4 girls of low social responsibility. Moreover, as Corona claims, one of the love victims is a transvestite. Whether it's a plus or a minus, everyone will decide for themselves. Apparently, Vlahovic decided he found the secret to Kylian Mbappe's form, or simply followed Ronaldo's footsteps in a snowstorm. Jacob accidentally ordered as many as 3 girls with bonuses. Now questions will arise from the Serbian girl, and also from Juventus. It's unlikely that the management will approve such behavior of the forward, at least that his intentions became known. At least in Italy. Prostitution is decriminalized so that the offender is not threatened with a term or fine. And here's Memphis Depay, now playing for Corinthians, was caught in the act. For drunk driving in Monaco, Memphis was jailed for 4 months, deprived of driving rights in the Principality for 2 years, and fined £900,000. Fortunately for Depay, the sentence is conditional. Al Hilal coach Jorge Jesus released Neymar because he saw no point in the Brazilian staying on the team. The coach stated that Ney can no longer perform at the same level as before due to some unspecified difficulties. Of course, such words hit the falling one, and he responded to them after the transfer to Santos. "I am ready to play. I had an injury. I could not play for a long time. Of course, I am happy now." The words of Jesus greatly disappointed me. "I disagree with the fact that I did not match the level of other team players," said the footballer, and he proved that he can still play at the highest level. Neymar debuted for Santos for the 2nd time. The Brazilian appeared on the field in a match against Botafogo. The first touch of the ball was unforgettable, at least for Neymar himself. It hit him hard right in the stomach, but it didn't deter the attacker, and he became the match's, alas, without any productive actions, but still fully deserved. He gathered a huge number of followers, was the most active in the team, constantly created moments practically out of nothing, always showed initiative. A couple of times he passed several opponents and gave passes with the potential to become goals, only the partners could not realize them. We saw the good old Neymar. A lot of technique, crazy bypasses even without acceleration. Some fantastic superiority over the opponent when the defenders simply do not know how to stop the course of Neymar. They knocked him down and hit his legs with a crowd, otherwise the footballer would have scored a couple goals. In one match, Neymar made more highlights than all his time spent at Al Hilal. He put on a real show, and I'm glad that now we can watch him regularly. Thanks to the coach and partners from Santos, everyone plays through Neymar, so now the Brazilian will create a lot of content every match in his homeland. Manchester United is trying to solve the problem with the forwards since the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo. Over the last 2 years, the Red Devils have spent our 116 million on forwards, but nothing is working out. And there is still no player in the squad who guarantees goals. Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund clearly can't handle the responsibilities. The problem extends well beyond them. It's not that they play well, but the team also fails to provide forward ball delivery. Most often, the forwards are cut off from their partners. Zirkzee plays lower and often chases Kruglogo, but it doesn't result in more goals. He was never a bombardier, nor will he be a player of another type, like Morata. That Højlund was pretty sharp in Atalanta, but he completely lost in VPL. So much so that now Amorim is experimenting with a false 9 in the face of Hobby Mino. According to the data, the management has designated the upcoming transfer as a key task for the summer transfer window. With money, it will be better than in the winter maintenance, and you can buy someone expensive. For example, Victor Gyökeres, it is he, as he writes, will be the #1 target for United. We are familiar with him, knows how to use. The coach has made it easier to negotiate with Sporting. There are still doubts. Is Gyökeres ready for the OPL level? Well, he who doesn't risk, doesn't drink champagne. What to do with Højlund and Zirkzee? In the MU, they are already thinking where to attach them. West Ham United is likely to come for Rasmus in the summer. The Hammers are ready to lay out more than £40 million for Dachanen, and Zirkzee likely will be sent to Serie A, where Napoli and Juventus are claiming him. Probably, Joshua would prefer to go to the old Senora. At least, Thiago Motta will use him as intended. Moreover, the coach can't get along with Vlahovic at all. And considering that the Serb has the highest salary in Serie A, should we expect that Dušan will fly somewhere to the American Premier League in the summer? By the way, it's not a bad option for United to swap Zirkzai and Vlahovic with an extra payment from the Devils, and Ventus just loves deals with exchanges. Legendary Marcelo ended his career. The Brazilian was born to be a forward, but for some reason spent his career as a left back. But he was remembered not for his interceptions and undercuts, although he had a full order with this. And with his technique and magical curled shots, and of course an irresistible connection with Cristiano Ronaldo. With the Portuguese, they became friends not only on the field, and Ronaldo sincerely said goodbye to his teammate. My brother, what an amazing career. We have lived through a lot together. These were years of achievements, victories, and unforgettable moments. More than a team partner, a comrade for life. Thank you for everything, friend. I wish you all the best in this new stage of life. Marcelo at Real Madrid has amassed a fantastic collection of trophies. 6 league titles, 2 Copa del Rey, 5 Spanish Super Cups, Champions League, 3 Union of European Football Associations Super Cups, and 4 Club World Championships. He left Madrid royally right after the victorious final in Elche. Lately, Brazil's career has not been very smooth. He didn't play long at Olympiacos, managed to win the Copa Libertadores at Fluminense, after which he quarreled with the coach and left the team. And now out of football. I think no one will argue that the game has lost one of the best left-backs in history. I remember the glorious times when Marcelo played on one flank for the Brazilian national team, and Dani Alves on the other. They were the real wings of the team. It's just a pity that in the end, instead of a beautiful end to his career, Dani got a suspension. But recently, the Brazilian has been released. He was released on bail. It appears he wants to return to the field. Dani has posted a video of himself training in Barcelona's uniform. No matter what they say, great stories are really only written by God. The Brazilian signed off the video. Well then, we are waiting for the comeback of the promising defender to Blaugrana. Tottenham minimally outplayed Liverpool in the first match of the A-League Cup. In the second, everything went not as expected. Enzo Postecoglou. The meeting was completely under the control of the scouts. Kulusevski and Son attempted to create chances on the left flank, while goalkeeper Kinski hoped for a miracle, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The Spurs landed their first hit only in the 42nd minute. And when such a thing happens to the super-attacking Tottenham, it says that the team played very poorly. Meshala, a huge hole in the center of the field, Scousers, passed the red and Spur without any tension. Londoners failed to catch the ball. I remind you again about the replenished Lazaret. Moreover, Dragushin was recently added there. And right during the match, Richardson went there, thanks to which we saw the debut of Mathys Telia. The Frenchman didn't get the ball very often, so we won't make any conclusions. Only remembered once with a sharp angle shot. Darwin Núñez is being pursued by Saudi Arabia, but he persists in striving for his position at Liverpool. Yesterday he worked hard in the press and earned a penalty for Mohamed Salah, who executed it perfectly. Perhaps I have not yet seen a better execution of a 12-meter. He sent it straight into the 9. Even if Kinski knew in advance where to jump, he still wouldn't have reached it. A fantastic match by the Reds. They outplayed on all fronts. Anyway, it's clear just from the score of 4-0. In the final moments, Son Heung-min panicked and attempted to take on Liverpool's entire defense alone. Among other things, one of such attempts ended with a shot into the crossbar. Meanwhile, Daniel Levy was sitting in the stands with a very sad look, realizing that Tottenham will have another trophyless season. Tottenham fans left the stadium even before the final whistle. Wrote that the match with Liverpool will be key for the future. By Postecoglou. Yes, Cucci has no one to play in defense, and 0-4 still remain the same shameful 0-4. In football, the result is everything. So guys, as much as it was pleasant to watch Spor's romantic game, we'll have to say goodbye to it. It seems that Engie will be sent to the bench in the near future. Fiorentina simply crushed Inter with a 3-0 score. The last match was not finished due to a frightening incident involving Eduardo Bovi. Halfback then lost consciousness. His heart stopped. Bovi plans to return to the field. but not in the near future. But Bovie was definitely watching the match, and all the players knew about it, and they played with all their heart. Inter approached the match highly motivated, hoping to make up for the Milan derby and push Napoli down in the table, but in the end, they were simply swept away at the San Siro. Absolutely reckless play from Inter, and the 0-3 score fully reflects what's happening on the field. It seemed like Inter was somehow weak, but all because of the intense and aggressive Fiorentina. And after all, the Florentines approached the match in poor form. They didn't manage to strengthen the squad in the winter at all. That is, the result is extremely unexpected. Here, of course, coach Rafael Palladino tried his best, but he's sure that such a success would not have happened without the match's momentum. Fiorentina wanted to win for Bovie, and she did it. The Club Tesca had to blow off Inter from Miami. Moreover, we are now talking about the team Zapli Jutrinatsat, for which Thiago Messi plays.
In the match with Atlanta, the guy scored an incredible 11 goals.
Yes, it's a children's level, but nonetheless. It immediately reminded me of the recent surge of young Ronaldo. Seems like the legendary rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo is returning. True, there is one nuance. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and for subscribing to the channel. Well, my name is Kirill Cast, and this was your daily dose of football. Peace to your house and to your hangar, friends.